When it comes to a great vlog series for people of all ages, you can count on Brian Mullins the Fox. Storytelling never looks so good, with vices that look even better. Brian Mullins the Fox means vlog entertainment. Hello everyone, I am Brian Mullins the Fox, and welcome to episode 9 of the Adventurous Mischiefs in a Post-Detective World. This is the very last rant segment of the entire series. Next episode is the finale and the conclusion. On this rant segment, we'll be talking about how this series was executed so far, and how far it has come, and the Christmas Star Curse / the death of my grandmother. In other words, a curse begins when rarity itself cancels itself out. How this series went down so far started out with a nice introduction. The childhood storytime segment was brilliant. My first rant segment was long-winded but worth your time. The first miscellaneous segment, or episode 4, was entertaining as fuck, even though there's one segment of that video where it's edgy. Episode 5 was another storytime segment talking about my teenage hijinks growing up. And I kinda regret telling that huge series of stories because all of this will be brought back into my head sometime soon in the future. Episode 6 is actually an entertaining rant segment for me and you as well, because it explains to all of you, including myself, how I felt doing all these research videos, rant videos, commentary videos, and all videos surrounding the roast game as a topic. And then episode 7 is the final miscellaneous topic video. Binge watching my old vlogs and just telling the last 10 corny as hell dad jokes that I could look up on the internet. Episode 8 was the story about how the water heater melted down in early 2019, just as much as everything else surrounding me on the internet was melting down, and other stories. And this is episode 9. We're waiting for the finale after this. Now, before we talk about the death of my grandmother in a mostly PG way, the Christmas star is nothing but a curse, and I will explain to you exactly how and why right now. The death of my grandmother was one of the things that always tugged at my heartstrings. She was growing too old, too skinny, she had Alzheimer's, and she couldn't bear back to live any longer. This part of the rant segment won't be long, but we'll use this as the segue to the end of the rant segment. I'm not gonna get too emotional here. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna weep. I'm not gonna whimper or sob, because I've already let all that out of my system. The day of, and a couple or so months after her death. May she rest in peace. After she died, the day of the Christmas star last year, it was almost a sheer coincidence that the day that my grandmother died was the day that the Christmas star came out at night, after a few hundred years before. It just came out to be that the appearance of the Christmas star at night on December 21st, 2020 was just as rare as my grandmother dying, when I didn't expect that to happen in the first place. It was just that middle ground of rarity that it actually happened. Likelihood didn't mean shit to that tragedy. Long before that, I wasn't even able to see Grandma in over 3 years at that point. Once I looked back at that fact and attached it to the fact that my grandmother died that day, made me really weep. It really tore my heart open. It tore a new one, and I was crying. Tears were just rolling down my eyes like a waterfall. It was painful. It sucked that I have no more grandmas in my life, and maybe in a year or two, I don't know if I'll ever have a grandpa for much longer after this. That will do it for episode 9 of the Adventurous Mischiefs in a Post-Detective World. I'm Brian Mullins the Fox, signing out. Stay tuned for the finale. Goodbye to you all. Master at Golly Team Scouts no on there. Let me go let us out the was go live and yes heroes. What's no on there? No, I think we. Sish be a lawful. Serious golly, we're roasting my